Alhamdulillah wahda wassalatu wassalamu ala man la nabiyya ba'da. Today we will be looking into a hadith and its benefits, which talks about some of the virtues of fasting. So we look into the hadith which talks about the virtues of fasting. And this hadith is also from Abu Hurairah, which is أن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: كل عمل ابن آدم يضاعف الحسنة بعشر أمثالها إلى 700 ضعف. قال الله عز وجل: إلا الصوم فإنه لي وأنا أجزي به. The previous lesson we stopped the hadith till here, and in this lesson we'll continue from here, the complete hadith. So وأنا أجزي به يدع شهوته وطعامه من أجلي وللصائم فرحتان فرحة عند فطره وفرحة عند لقاء ربه ولخلوف فم الصائم أطيب عند الله من ريح المسك. This is متفق عليه. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, he narrated that Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, all the actions of the children of Adam are multiplied. A good deed is 10 times, it's like up to 700 times. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, except fasting. For it is for me and I give the reward for it. He leaves his desires and food for my sake. Thus fasting person has 2 times of happiness. Happiness when he breaks the fast and happiness when he meets his Lord. Indeed, the changing of the breath of the fasting person is better with Allah than the scent of musk. So this hadith is the evidence for the virtue of fasting and its tremendous status with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the Shaykh, he brings 4 virtues out of this hadith for us, and there are many, but he brings 4 specific ones. So 4 of its many virtues have come in this hadith. The first one is, those who fast shall receive their full reward without reckoning. So they will be receiving their full reward without reckoning. For all good deeds are multiplied by 10 times, like up until 700 times. Except fasting, for its multiplication is not restricted. It is beyond 700. It's not restricted to this number. Rather, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will multiply it countless times because fasting is patience. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِنَّمَا يُوَفَّ الصَّابِرُونَ أَجْرَهُمْ بِغَيْرِ حِسَابٍ, which means only those who are patient shall receive the reward in full without reckoning. Al-Awza'i, he said, لَيْسَ يُوزَنُ لَهُمْ وَلَا يُكَالْ إِنَّمَا يُغْرَفُ لَهُمْ غَرْفًا. Their reward will not be weighed or measured for them, but scooped for them in hands. This is mentioned in Tafsir Ibn Kathir. So the second virtue that the Shaykh brings is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala attached fasting to himself as opposed to other deeds. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala attached fasting to himself. And this is, and Allah knows best, because the Shaykh is saying that the first reason it could be is that this fasting lasts, this act of obedience, which is fasting, lasts for the whole day. It's for the whole day. Thus the fasting person finds a loss in his desires and yearning for them, especially on a summer day due to its length and extreme heat. Allah also attached fasting to himself because it's a second point that could be a reason of why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala attached it, is that it is a secret between the worshipper and his Lord. So the first point that he thinks it is that it is an act which is for the entire day, to leave away desires and to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and leave away what you love. And the second thing is that this act of fasting is between Allah and his worshipper. No one knows it except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is a hidden matter. The creation does not see it and showing off does not enter. The third virtue that Shaykh brings is that the fasting person, when he meets his Lord, he will be happy with his fast. And there are 2 types of happiness that are being talked about. So that is due to what? He will see of his recompense and his reward. So when he meets Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he will be very happy because of the fasting that he did in this world. Because he will see his reward with his eyes. He would never think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to give him this much. Right? And the recompense is a consequence of the acceptance of the fast. Allah has accepted his fast. That's the reason why Allah rewarded him with this recompense. And the Shaykh, he says, the ability to fast also was given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave the ability to fast, and you were sincere, ability to be sincere in this fast, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted the fast, and then because of that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you the recompense for it. So this is from the favors of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on us. As for his happiness, when he breaks his fast, this is when he breaks his fast during iftar, then that is due to the completion of his worship, its soundness from the matters which corrupted, and obtaining what he was deprived of that agrees with his nature, meaning he is able to fulfill his desires, lawful desires, whether eating, drinking, or with his spouse, his or her father. This is a happiness which is praiseworthy, because it is happiness due to obedience to Allah and the completion of the fast, for which abundant rewards are promised. The fourth virtue that he brings is the scent of the mouth of the fasting person is better with Allah than scent of musk. And this goodness will be found on the day of standing, that is the day of judgment, because it is the time in which the rewards of the deeds will appear according to the narration, Atyabu indallahi yawm al-qiyamah, better with Allah on the day of standing. This is reported by a part of the hadith which is reported by Muslim. This scent, even if it is disliked by the noses of the people in this life, is better with Allah than the scent of musk, due to its arising from the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then Shaykh, he adds some other benefits, which is that among the virtues of the fasting is from the causes of forgiveness of sins and expiation of evil deeds. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, he narrated that Man sama Ramadana imanan wa ihtisaban ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbih. Whoever fasts Ramadan out of Iman and expecting the reward from Allah. So fasting Ramadan out of Iman and expecting the reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So these are two conditions. He will be forgiven for what has preceded from his sins. However, these virtues are only for the one who fasted sincerely for the sake of Allah, from food, drink and sexual intercourse, and his limbs fasted from sins. So this is the legislated fast which the tremendous rewards are based upon. The Prophet ﷺ said, وَلَّمْ يَدَعَ قَوْلَ زُورِ وَالْعَمَلَ بِهِ وَالْجَهْلِ فَلَيْسَ لِلَّهِ حَاجَةٌ فِي أَنْ يَدَعَ طَعَامُهُ وَشَرَابُهُ. Whoever does not give up false speech, acting according to it, and ignorance, Allah is not in need of him leaving his food and drink. May Allah correct our affairs. This hadith is in Bukhari. And with this we end this lesson with the dua that the Shaykh has mentioned. Allahumma hafaz lana siyamana waj'alhu shafi'an lana wa'inna fihi ala ta'atik wajannibna turuku ma'asiyatik waghfir lana wa liwalidina wa li jami'il muslimin.